Hello everyone, welcome to Colney. We've got the guys packing up as we've spoken to Alec Neil and John Ruddy ahead of the trip to Wigan. Paddy is back by my side too. It was quite a revealing press conference from Alec Neil. A lot about the turnaround and what he's learned, and he was quite open about where he's at really, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, it's all good stuff. Obviously, 3 wins on the spin. It's a happier place, I'm sure, to come to work, and that's probably reflected in, I think, a little bit more relaxed approach from the manager. I think he's always love him or don't love him, and plenty don't, and he touched on that as well. He still feels he's got much ground to make up with large sections of the support, but he's always honest anyway, even in the difficult times, and no different today really, just in terms of how, on a personal level, purely personal level, how testing it's been, and how he thinks he will become a better manager having gone through that first real prolonged downturn in his career, and what he learned about himself, and what he had to almost strip back, how he approached the job, and ultimately just reiterated it's about your players, and I'm sure he always knew that, but he knows it even more now, because if those lads don't go out there and do the business as they have done in recent games, then he is the one who gets it in the neck, so to speak, and has done. As we all know, we don't need to sort of revisit some of the really low points, but yeah, he certainly looks like he feels they're on the up. But again, reiterating, it's about results, and as good as Cardiff was, won't really count for too much if they go to Wigan Tuesday night and get turned over. So he's expecting no less a difficult threat. But yeah, I think they're going to travel there in even more buoyant mood than they were pre Cardiff. Yeah.
And there's a kind of renewed focus, I think, that it is one game at a time, and sometimes it's just been little tells, I guess, that have come up that have maybe suggested they're looking at trying to pick up a few things here and a few extra things here. It now seems very one-dimensional. And it was the same with John Ruddy as well. This next game, that's it, and that focus is the thing that seems to be slightly different, which again helps with the wins, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, he made the point, actually, just popped back into my head, that he doesn't think they've done what the table tells you they haven't. The Brightons reiterated again at the weekend, and the Newcastles, they just will go to grounds, home or away, and just grind out a result, and that was probably one of the first times this season Norwich did that at Cardiff. They haven't played well. I mean, you boys were there, I wasn't, but by all accounts, it was a bit of an arm wrestle, and they're the tests routinely they'd failed prior to Christmas. So he says any season that's going to end with promotion, you need to grind out. I think he even put a number on it, 8 to 10 of those type of results, and that was certainly one on Saturday. They probably need another one tomorrow. It isn't really about how well they play, it's just coming off the end of it, hopefully with 3 points, if not a point.
John Ruddy was excellent again as well. I always enjoy his press conferences because he seems pretty eloquent with what he's saying, and again that focus was good. A man who has basically picked up a clean sheet every other game in the league since coming back into the side, which is pretty impressive stuff. In terms of the injury bulletin, Stephen Naismith is missing and will be missing by the sounds of it for maybe a game or two, I would suggest. Matt Jarvis is going to travel with the squad, which I thought was interesting. Back problem for James Maddison, so we might not see him for a little while. But Yannick Vilshood will feature against his former club. There's no reason why he won't anyway. Yeah. And Mitchell Dykes is okay after his cramp. And there's still a lot of positivity about those two, isn't there? You can tell that from what both guys today were saying.
Yeah, I think the reality is they're both clearly got the pedigree to improve a squad, but I just think it's new faces around the place, isn't it? They're not weighed down with maybe the baggage that has certainly the rest of the squad who've been here through this season, the really difficult moments, we keep referring to them again. So I just think it gives everybody a lift, really. And clearly, they're two lads who look like they can influence games at this level, and even just on the slim evidence, what we saw from Dykes at the weekend. So I think that's going to give everybody a lift, and great for them to hit the ground running in the sense that they came in, they both played full parts in a winning performance. So just going back to, obviously, Alex Tettey suspended now, isn't he, for these next two. So the key news for me was that Malumbu is fit and available, because I think he's probably going to be needed.
And no Wes, do you get that impression we might not see Wes?
Yeah, we won't be seeing Wes, I don't think. I think he's in cotton wool mode. 2 games, 2 tough, potentially away games. By all accounts, Wigan's pitch isn't the best either, so I don't think it's going to be one for getting it down and picking pockets and little passes. And also, as I say, we've had this earlier in the season, his levels did dip, both in terms of his physical capacity and what he was contributing in terms of his quality. Took him out, and then he's come back and he's been really influential, and none more so than at the weekend with the assist for Jerome. So I think we're at the stage now where just got to manage him, be very careful, there's some big games ahead, and obviously you'd think maybe Alex Pritchard might have a little look tomorrow.
Yeah, your time to shine, Alex. We will, of course, be up at Wigan, where they're a little bit more direct and a little bit more solid than they were down at Carrow Road, which is probably a good thing, given the way they started that game. We'll both be there in midweek with all the build-up, reaction, analysis, live coverage, of course. Just follow pinken.com. Looking forward to the trip, Pad?
Can't wait, mate.
Look at these. You can tell he's had a week off. It's brilliant. So follow all that, and we'll see you on the other side.